President Trump. Joining us now, former Trump White House Deputy Counsel Gene Hamilton. Gene, what's your take on this? We've read former prosecutors and legal pros like Andy McCarthy slamming this indictment. A trial jury is going to have to get to unanimity for beyond a reasonable doubt charge or conviction for Comey. They're going to have to prove intent. That's a pretty high hurdle to cross, right?
Well, it certainly can be a high hurdle. But the act, when he's charged with two different counts, both of which are premised upon this concept known as a true threat. And the question is whether he knew, he intended to cause the threat to the president's life, or whether acted in reckless disregard of the fact that it could be interpreted by the recipient as a threat. And so there are contemporaneous messages, there are contemporaneous things that are going to be available to the prosecution that probably was available to the grand jury that they looked at that can help show either his state of mind or his intent, or you can also look at the surroundings around it. Look, Liz, I think the most important thing here is that James Comey's defense, his public defense right now, requires all people to suspend all disbelief that somehow the director of the FBI had no knowledge that 8647 has a specific meaning. It means take out the President of the United States. It is a threat against the President of the United States. It's a coded message. We should not be forgiving of people using coded messages, because what do we get when people use coded messages in inflammatory rhetoric? We get things like what we saw Saturday night at the Correspondents' Dinner. We have people who are inspired, who act upon the environment that's created by these threats. So yes, a jury will have to decide this particular case. Jim Comey will absolutely throw up all kinds of defenses, but this case is not this joke that Andy McCarthy has made it out to be, or that some of these other criminal pontificators have made it out to be. It is a very serious matter, and the Department of Justice appears to be taking it very, very, very seriously.
Yeah, FBI Director Kash Patel reportedly said veteran FBI agents and prosecutors spent nearly a year probing this Comey 8647 post. Acting U.S. Attorney Todd Blanche is arguing that statutes are clear. Threats against the president are not protected speech. A grand jury already found sufficient evidence to proceed with these charges. Comey is talking like he simply did not know 8647 is a coded signal to remove the president. The reports are he was on a national book tour promoting his book about a public figure using coded messaging to incite followers to commit acts of violence against political enemies. That irony is pretty rich.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolute irony, to your point exactly. And if Jim Comey does not know the meaning of 8647 as the former director of the FBI, then that just cements the fact that he must have been the dumbest director of the FBI that we have ever had in history. Because anyone with half a brain who's worked around law enforcement understands the meaning of that term when it's used in that connotation.
Thank you so much, Gene Hamilton. Appreciate you.